this one obviously comes with black accents. It's got a shortened mud guard. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing in wet weather. And overall, aesthetics look really good in this. It's got some sharper angles compared to the first generation. And then the head cover treatment, the black treatment, the black covers. And does this one have the, oh, this one has the radiator guard too, which I need to install on mine. So this particular bike actually is a very good proposition. The only difference is that mine comes with panniers and the top case, the factory panniers, and this one does not come with panniers. It has a shed top case, which is very plasticky. And these are the tank accents that I kind of like. It's the cubby hole, navigation mount or navigation setup, and good thing is you put on the navigation by BMW and it'll start working. All the menus will work. All right, everybody, another day, beautiful day, cold, but again, this is Jim Egan. Jim, I'm sure you're in the frame now. Yeah. So good. Jim is, as usual, helping me out. I looked at that K1600B, but I'm also test riding the new S1000XR. By new, I meant, you know, it's a 20.
Yeah, the updated version.
It's a 2020 or 21?
2020. Yeah.
It's a 2020, so it's the second generation. So again, thank you, Jim, for helping me out. Hope this is a new model, newer generation, and the updates that they've made compared to mine. Obviously, they have revised the engine, they have reduced the vibrations. This has a really nice TFT. It also has the nav setup, as well as it has the hand guards, which mine didn't. Plus, it comes with the auxiliary lights, this particular model. And the biggest of all changes is the LED headlights and daytime running lights. I don't understand why BMW still insists on just illuminating one side and not the other, unless you're on a high beam. So let's just see how it turns out to be. Very similar feel. Yeah, the seat does feel different, as a lot of people say. It's like a cup shape. It does feel a little lighter too for some reason, and it's a little bit more aggressive positioning, maybe because I have the handlebar risers on mine as usual, and that's why. Shifter is just as smooth. Let's see how the wind protection is, because this screen, okay, the shifter for some reason doesn't shift every time you want it. Okay, this is the highest position now. Yeah, this is typical XR. Wonderful acceleration as usual, and the only thing I'm missing is the sound that I have on mine. It does have a little bit better wind protection from this wind screen. Maybe it's just my, but I'm getting a lot of wind on my chest for some reason. I think it's coming from the side. It's definitely smoother than the first generation XR, which is mine. This one does have about 8,300 miles, and mine only has about 2,600 miles, but mine is the first generation, and they've made a lot of improvements since then. It does feel smoother. It's not as wild I like the exhaust in the first generation. So this exhaust is a lot calmer for some reason. Even though it sounds good, deep, but all the pops and everything else is just not there. And then the display is a big plus in this. I do feel vibrations on this too. Actually, I feel less vibration in the seat on mine, which is the first generation, than this. But this one seems like as you climb up the RPM range, it takes care of a lot of those vibrations. But in this standard setting, I am feeling vibration in the handlebar, on the foot pegs, on the seat, in the seat as well. But again, this is one of the most fun bikes you can ride, for sure. And the question is that I probably would have to do something to the seat if I got this. And that's what I don't know whether I want to do. Yeah, I would need to install handlebar risers for sure. That's just my preference, but overall it's a good seating position. I just want the handlebars more towards me a little bit. So that's the only reason why. Otherwise, and that's a gripe, it's not an issue. I don't understand all the reviewers that claim that the first generation has more vibrations. In mine, yes, I put the handlebar, you know, the hand grips, the thicker hand grips. I still am using the standard seat, and my seat does have, I do feel some vibration on certain RPMs on my seat, but generally nothing like this. So this one is buzzy. It's not vibration, it's just buzzing at all speeds. And as usual, they just handle like anything. It does feel more solid for some reason in its feel overall. I just rode my GTL, and you just get spoiled after riding the GTL or those, especially any of the K1600 series bikes, because they're just so smooth, as well as the wind protection is much better also. So it just adds to the fun part. This thing is a rocket ship, but my God, its seat has got some vibrations. I just wish, you know, I could keep one XR in my garage regardless of the situation. And I do have one right now. I like the technology in this, and the overall ride quality, I think, except for the vibration, this one is better, I would say, for sure. It feels a little bit more tucked up. I don't know how to describe that, but a little tighter in its overall execution of everything, and the body panel seemed to be a little tighter, even though mine only has 2,600 miles and it's a pretty new looking and new feeling bike. This one does have some improvements, and this does feel a little light on its feet, even though I thought that was lighter when I started riding mine, but now I see what the differences are. So all in all, I guess it's worth the upgrade in some sense, but for the others, I still like the first generation a little bit better overall. This one, obviously the tank is better shaped, I guess. They have, I don't know if they've changed the shape of the tank or not, It does feel that you have more control. You can control it with your legs a little bit better, and it's sportier feeling than mine. Yeah, it's a stable bike. Okay, this one does have auto ESA. Mine has dynamic, but I dynamic ESA, and it's supposed to adjust itself too, but I don't know what the auto means. I think the auto function, what it does as far as I can remember, is that you don't have to change the suspension at all. It'll just pick up the correct setting based on how you're riding it. In that, you have to choose between auto or the road or whatever the other mode is. Over the first generation, it's got a lot of improvements. The gauge cluster, dash, keyless ride, which means that even the tank can be operated without a key, and obviously push button start and everything that comes along with that. Then this one has handguards, and I already felt the difference because I was just riding my XR yesterday, which is the first gen, and I don't have the handguards. So and in the wind protection, I also saw that this particular windshield is a hit or miss, because it's, I think, throwing more air at my chest than my shoulders. It's got a better, wider coverage, but I think from here there's some air coming through. May have to put something over there, and that's at the highest setting. At the lower setting, it might be better for the overall upper body, but then the head buffeting would start, like the helmet buffeting. In this, I have less of helmet buffeting, even though even in that, I wouldn't call it buffeting, with just air hitting my helmet a little bit more in the older one than this. The lag that people complain about in this one, the second generation, I wouldn't call it lag. I don't know, if you're just full throttle at all time from the start, maybe you'll feel it, but it's pretty good. I do feel that the throttle response is better on the first gen that I have, but this one is definitely, I wouldn't complain if I had this. And this one looks a little bit cooler with the LED lights and daytime running lights, even though that has daytime running lights too, but those are halogen for some reason, in the US at least. They don't even have that single vertical light between the two headlights as the European models I see. Yeah, this one is pretty responsive. Gotta slow down here, it's a residential street. So the riding quality, or ride quality in this, overall better. Shifter is the same. One complaint that I sometimes have with my bike as well as this one is that at slower speed sometimes you're trying to shift or downshift and it just doesn't do it. And in mine sometimes the shift indicator goes blank, and then you have to move the bike a little bit forward, or if you're standing still, a little bit backward, and then it will shift, with whether you're trying to do it with the clutch or not. So that's a little bit of a miss, but once you move, then that goes away. So then the shifting up and down is pretty smooth. I feel that the first generation quick shifter is more precise in that manner. This is doing that missing, I would say, of the shift. At slower speeds more, but you know, once I'm moving, it's just as smooth, if not smoother. This road has pretty rough surfaces, and suspension is in dynamic. It is a little bit harsher. It's a school zone. Yeah, but I'm missing those pops and everything that the factory exhaust in the first generation, all the sounds that it makes. So, but that's fixable. Great bike, no doubt about it. If money is no issue, then have both. First and second gen. You can't go wrong with either, but the second gen offers more overall. So obviously, if I wouldn't say that the first gen overall is better, but from a riding and excitement perspective, that is better than the second generation. Otherwise, as the overall bike is concerned, second generation for sure. Yeah, this is very tossable, very, very tossable. But I overall have grown the liking for the heavier bikes for some reason. The sports touring style mainly, not the pure muscle cruisers. Or I like the muscle cruisers, but I want something that I can, if the need be and somebody joins me, or I can ride any bike that I have on longer rides without worrying. And XR, at least the first generation, I've done some 6-7 hour rides, and I found it to be extremely comfortable. Obviously it's an adjustment compared to GTL and other bikes because the wind protection is not as intensive. Specifically if it's cold like it was yesterday, I was suffering after the sunset because I got more wind on my hands since it didn't have the wind protection. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Please share, like, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon if you did. Alright viewers, have a good one. Take care.